And beyond that, do good like Allah has been good to you. That what Allah has given you is good. But if that inspires good in you, to give others as Allah has given you, as Allah has looked to empower you, bring you from your destitute selves, from your deprived weakness, to a position of such authority, strength, and resourcefulness, then how about you look to do that for others? وَلَا تَبْغِ الْفَسَادَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Do not promote corruption in the land. So when your wealth is not being used to promote good, it is almost a default that it will be used to support evil, to cause corruption. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. Allah does not like those who promote corruption. قَالَ إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. Qarun said, go to hell. I don't want to listen to all of these preaching you have to tell me what I should do with my wealth. It is my wealth. It has been given to me on the basis of my knowledge. I know how. It is my professional know-how, my business sense, how street smart I am, how qualified I am. You keep your trap shut, mind your own business, and let me do whatever the hell I want to with this. أَوَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ. Did he never realize أَنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ أَهْلَكَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ مِنَ الْقُرُونِ, that Allah has destroyed before him many generations. Notice how an individual is being addressed and how he is being reminded that Allah has destroyed generations before you. And the destruction of those generations, those towns, and the adhab of Allah and all of those people before you is something that you should personally take heed from. As an individual, you should learn a lesson from. That it should not lead for you to exult, to have a sense of entitlement, to deny yourself or evade the sense of responsibility that it should spark within you. And so this puts into context that every reminder of every nation that we get within the Qur'an is, yes, a reminder to us as a nation, as a society, but then before that it is a reminder to us as individuals that you are vulnerable to be punished by Allah the way Ad and Thamud were punished by Allah. The way the people of Fir'aun were punished by Allah, the people of Nuh were punished by Allah, the people of Lut were punished by Allah. That all of those nations stand as ibrah, lessons for you to benefit from. Don't make their mistakes. Don't make their mistakes. Allah may as well drown you, He may as well strike you down. You never know. You never know when your time comes. Or in the very least, He may do to you what He did to Qarun. مَنْ هُوَ أَشَدُّ مِنْهُ قُوَّةً وَأَكْثَرُ جَمْعًا. People who were mightier than him in strength and had greater collection of wealth. I didn't leave nations. Do you think I'd leave you as an individual if you do the same behavior again? وَلَا يُسْأَلُ عَنْ ذُنُوبِهِمْ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. But the criminals will not be asked about their sins. It isn't necessary. It is speaking, the situation speaks for itself. Their state speaks for itself. فَخَرَجَ عَلَى قَوْمِهِ فِي زِينَتِهِ. So he made an appearance to his people in his full pomp, utter glory, with his decked out in his designer garments and his full entourage, his branded rides and all his clout around him, people sucking up to him, his servants and everything. قَالَ الَّذِينَ يُرِيدُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. Those who desired the life of this world said, يَا لَيْتَ لَنَا مِثْلَ مَا أُوتِيَ قَارُونَ. I wish, only if I had what Qarun has been given. إِنَّهُ لَذُو حَظٍّ عَظِيمٍ. He is one lucky guy. He is one lucky guy. And they would just spend their days watching celebrities crib. Day in and day out. What does Brad Pitt spend his money on? What does Jim Parsons spend his money on? How do these millionaires live? And where do these millions come from? And where do these millions go? And I wish I had as much as Ellen has. I wish I had as much as Oprah has. Oh God. Oh wow. Ya Allah. Ya Fattah. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمِ. But those endowed with knowledge said, وَيْلَكُمْ, damn you, ثَوَابُ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ لِمَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ الصَّالِحِ. The reward of Allah is better for the one who believes and performs righteous deeds. وَلَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا الصَّابِرُونَ. And none will be able to attain that except those who are patiently perseverant. Your daydreams about all those millions that you can possibly mint, for the sake of it, are best replaced with what you have and what you can do with what you have. How about making the most of what's in front of you? Rather than that kid who has a chest full of toys, but he just wants that one toy in the toy store that he hasn't been able to get his hands on, that he's going to play for another 2 days and then drop. وَلَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا الصَّابِرُونَ فَخَسَفْنَا بِهِ وَبِدَارِهِ الْأَرْضِ. And so we caused him and his house to sink in the earth. فَمَا كَانَ لَهُ مِنْ فِئَةٍ يَنْصُرُونَهُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ. So he did not have a squad, any group of people, any army to help him out against Allah. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُنْتَصِرِينَ. Nor could he even defend himself. وَأَصْبَحَ الَّذِينَ تَمَنَّوْا مَكَانَهُ بِالْأَمْثِ يَقُولُونَ. And those who were envious of his status till yesterday started saying, وَيْكَأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ وَيَقْدِرُ. For sure Allah increases the provision of whoever He wants of His ibad, and He does restrict as well. لَوْلَا أَن مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا لَخَسَفَ بِنَا. Had it not been for Allah's favor upon us, He would have caused us to be swallowed as well. That we had what He had and we became as heedless as He had become. And so we would have been goners as well. وَيْكَأَنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الْكَافِرُونَ. And for sure, the ungrateful will not succeed. تِلْكَ الدَّارُ الْآخِرَةِ. As for the home of the hereafter, نَجْعَلُهَا لِلَّذِينَ لَا يُرِيدُونَ عُلُوًّا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا فَسَادًا. We have prepared it for those who do not desire superiority in the land, nor corruption. Superiority when it becomes an end in itself. Know that Sulaiman alayhi salam demanded a superiority as well, but that superiority was not an end within itself. He wanted it so he could do with it genuinely for people good and make their lives easier. And so that was his way of making up for it, or justifying all of what he had. And when he did that, it wasn't crumbs off the table that he gave to justify the millions that he had minted. It was way more than that. The bulk was directed in that direction. And so we do have tendencies of deceiving ourselves into saying that, you know what, if I'm going to dedicate my life to making a whole lot of money, and I'm going to neglect a whole lot of other responsibilities for that. And when I have, I'll give in the way of Allah. If you are neglecting a good bunch of what you should have been doing socially, with respect to your family, with respect to your talents, with respect to your abilities, and the bulk of it is channeled towards making money, then with that commitment, especially if that is accompanied by incessant du'as, Ya Allah, give me, I'll give for your deen, then understand that giving for His deen will not simply be sufficient with 2.5% of zakat alone. Because the commitments you've made was not for zakat. The commitments were, I will justify my sense of responsibility, my calling, my passion, my jihad for your deen is going to be this. Fair enough. Then make sense of it. Make it count. Justify it by how it's brought out. Understand that it has an incredible possibility of self-deception. That when all is done and you have what you wanted to get and you're ravishing in it and you forgot the promises you made. You forgot or whenever you do remember the promises, then whatever was initially intended for Allah doesn't go to Allah, but what was initially intended for His shuraka, His associates, what is taken from Allah and given to there. مَنْ جَاءَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ فَلَهُ خَيْرٌ مِّنْهَا. Whoever comes with a virtue will get better than that. وَمَنْ جَاءَ بِالسَّيِّئَةِ. And whoever comes with an evil, فَلَا يُجْزَى الَّذِينَ عَمِلُوا السَّيِّئَاتِ إِلَّا مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Then those who commit evil are not rewarded except in accordance with what they did. This is Allah's economics. This is His calculus by which He deals with people. Implicit in this is how ideally those who look to adorn themselves with attributes of Allah, that's how they should do as well. Look to give more to those who deserve, even more than they deserve, in terms of good. But as far as evil is concerned, then just the same. Just the same. إِنَّ الَّذِي فَرَضَ عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنِ. Without a doubt, Ya Rasulullah, the one who has obligated the Qur'an upon you, he has made the Qur'an fard upon you, i.e. given you the responsibility of the Qur'an. You carry this burden on your soldiers. لَرَادُّكَ إِلَى مَعَادٍ. He will definitely bring you back to a place of return, i.e. you will succeed. A place worthy of return. In this, symbolized in it is return to Makkah in state of victory. Don't think, as opposed to everything that appears, when the ayat are being revealed, everything is against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all odds are against. No one can possibly predict. The odds of him succeeding are 0.000000001% or something. No one in their right mind can predict that this unlettered person with a handful of followers will come back some 10, 15 years later, and everyone will be begging him for mercy and he will be forgiving them. Allah promises the one who has given you this Qur'an will give you that victory as well, provided you commit yourself to this Qur'an. قُلْ رَبِّ أَعْلَمُ مَنْ جَاءَ بِالْهُدَى. Say, my Rabb has the best knowledge of who has come with guidance. وَمَنْ هُوَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. And the one who is clearly lost. وَمَا كُنْتَ تَرْجُو أَنْ يُلْقَى إِلَيْكَ الْكِتَابِ. You never expected that this book would be revealed to you. إِلَّا رَحْمَةً مِّن رَبِّكَ. It is nothing but a mercy from your Rabb. فَلَا تَكُونَنَّ ظَهِيرًا لِلْكَافِرِينَ. So never ever be a supporter of disbelievers. And this is one part of the Qur'an, or one particular ayah of the Qur'an, that takes issue with the way we usually talk about seerah. We talk about seerah from the time of Amina's pregnancy, radiallahu ta'ala anha, with the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From that time to the point of revelation, it is as if everything was paving its way for that, and everyone knew that he's the prophet. And he knew that he was a prophet. And he was gearing up for it. And he was ready for it. And he had seen all the signs for it. And he knew about his mother's light pregnancy. And he knew about the light that shone itself to the end of, all the way to Syria or something. And he knew that there were monks bowing for him. And he knew, he remembered clear-cut, angel came to me, cleaved my chest, opened it up. Oh, that means I'm going to become a prophet. Whatever this ayah is representing right now, those incidents and those narrations in their own place. But they have to be reconciled with the understanding that Rasulullah ﷺ was completely taken by shock. He was never preparing for it. He was never expecting it. He had no idea that he never yearned for it. He never wanted it. He never dreamt of it in terms of him becoming prophet. Wanting it, yearning it, authority and everything that's going to come with and the spiritual position. No. He had no idea. إِلَّا رَحْمَةً مِّن رَبِّكَ. This is nothing but a mercy from your Rabb. فَلَا تَكُونَنَّ ظَهِيرًا لِلْكَافِرِينَ فَلَا يَصُدُّنَّكَ عَنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ. So don't let them turn you away from the ayat of Allah. بَعْدَ إِذْ أُنزِلَتْ إِلَيْكَ. After they have been revealed to you. وَادْعُوا إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ. And so call towards your Rabb. وَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And never be of the mushrik. وَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرَ. And don't call any ilah other than Allah. لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ هَالِكٌ إِلَّا وَجْهَهُ. Everything will perish except His face. لَهُ الْحُكْمُ. Ultimately the decision is His. وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. And towards Him is the return. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا. Do people think that they would be left at ease on saying we believe? أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. Takbir. Paradise guaranteed. No. Not so fast, not so quick. You're not that pretty, even if you are pretty. Doesn't work like that. It didn't work like that with Sahaba. It didn't work like that prior to the Sahaba. Rules are not going to change. The Sunnah of Allah are not going to be different. That you just say it and that's it. You manage to get away with it. Clean chit. Allah deceived. Human beings are not that straightforward. We're way more complex than that. And what we have in front of us is way more demanding than that. The world is a horrible place. With so much treachery and betrayal and deception and evil and corruption. And you're just going to make a claim and get away with it? To believe in the Lord of justice and to being His abd. And that's it. If Bilal was subjected to the worst imaginable torture when the sun is at its zenith and he is on his laying barebacked on the desert sand with rock upon rock placed upon him in order to suffocate him, only being given sufficient to stay alive, and then whipped and beaten. If Khabbab has coals piercing through his skin, fascia, possibly even muscle, to the point that he has holes in his back for the rest of his life. If Yasir and Sumayya are torn to pieces after being abused in unmentionable ways, why was their La ilaha illallah so much more expensive? So much more costly? Why is ours so bloody cheap? Is there less work to be done now? Is there more justice in the world today? Are people not suffering in the name of God today? That we don't have anything to do? That we don't have any suffering to suffer in order to make the world a better place, one way or the other? And so when they couldn't take it, they came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Rasulullah, don't you make dua for us? The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam became enraged. They're like, Mata Nasrullah, when is the help of Allah coming? Enough already. He's like, no, you're being impatient. You're being impatient, you're being impatient. I swear by Allah, there were people before you whose skins were combed off of them, who were half buried in the sand and then sawed in half, who were thrown in burning hot oil. And all of that has taken place. You haven't experienced nothing yet. This is the call of the Qur'an, not beating around the bush, not giving any false promises, not telling you any fairy tales as to how in this deen or this religion or this Islam is taken seriously. Angels don't come flying down, harps don't start playing, you don't start flying, clouds don't cover you wherever you go. Actually, the exact opposite starts happening. And so whoever enters into it with the expectation that everything will go hunky-dory from here, that I will sleep a peaceful night's sleep, I won't have anything to worry about, I will have this bliss and this tranquility as if I've fallen in love or something, and I will have angels protecting me in front of me and behind me, and that's how I'm going to die, because I've done God this incredible favor by saying La ilaha illallah. Allah says, thank you very much, keep your favors to yourself. La ilaha illallah means you have volunteered for spiritual growth. And as far as planet Earth is concerned, growth means pain. It means suffering. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. We have tested those before them. فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا. So Allah can see who are truly truthful. وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. And so He can see who are really liars. أَمْ حَسِبَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ سَيِّئَاتٍ أَنْ يَسْبِقُونَ. At the same time, those who are torturing the believers, who are putting them through a tough time, do they think that they will get the better of us? سَاءَ مَا يَحْكُمُونَ. Evil is their judgment. Implicitly, there is strictness up front. But then the very next ayat show trust in the believers' belief in their iman and their sabr, that they are going to stand their ground and Allah's religion will prevail. Man kana yarju liqa Allah, and the one who hopes to meet Allah, فَإِنَّ أَجَلَ اللَّهِ لَآتٍ. Then for sure Allah's promise is true. Because in the heat of the moment, when you're suffering, when nothing seems to be going in your way, when there's frustration, when you're making the efforts and no one seems to be responding and no one seems to be understanding and nothing seems to be changing and everything seems to be getting from bad to worse to even worse, and you just keep finding out how much more evil people can actually be, and how stubborn they can actually be, and how ignorant they can actually be, more so about your own self, as to realizing dimensions of your own potential evil or actual evil. And yet you are struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling. Then the thought comes in, what if it all ends for nothing? What if it's all in vain? What if there's no outcome to it? Allah reiterates, yes, those thoughts, those emotions will come. And this is the reason they've come, is why these ayat are coming in response. Whoever hopes to meet Allah, فَإِنَّ أَجَلَ اللَّهِ لَآتٍ, Allah's appointed time is definitely going to come. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ, and He is the all-hearing, all-knowing. وَمَنْ جَاهَدَ فَإِنَّمَا يُجَاهِدُ لِنَفْسِهِ, whoever strives for his own sake. Please remember at all times, you're not doing anyone any favors. So don't try to confer favors. That you've done the deen or Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the community or society some incredible benefits, and they should lift you up on your shoulders and have your name engraved in stone, and you should have your version of statues carved. None of that. Primarily, you're doing it for yourself. Whether anyone or anything else benefits or changes, you're benefiting. In Allah la-ghaniyun 'anil 'alamin, Allah is independent of all the people of the worlds. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and those who believe and perform righteous acts, لَنُكَفِّرَنَّ عَنْهُمْ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ, we will definitely blot out their sins for them. You're not expected to be perfect human beings. You're not expected to be sinless. But if you're doing the right thing, struggling, whatever errors, mistakes, sins that have been, that are continuing to be, they'll be erased, they'll be blotted out. لَنُدْخِلَنَّهُمْ فِي الصَّالِحِينَ, and we will most definitely include them among the righteous. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ, from some people there are those who say, we have believed in Allah. فَإِذَا أُوذِيَ فِي اللَّهِ, when they are persecuted in the way of Allah, جَعَلَ فِتْنَةَ النَّاسِ كَعَذَابِ اللَّهِ, they treat the trial from people as if it's Allah's punishment. The way they should be afraid of Allah's punishment, they're afraid of people, or what people are subjecting them to. And that was your belief in Allah. Amanna billah, that was Allah you had believed in. You considered that this Allah, or this belief in Allah, is not going to come with its share of lessons, pain, suffering. وَلَئِنْ جَاءَ نَصْرٌ مِّن رَبِّكَ, and whenever help comes from your Rabb, Ya Rasulullah, لَيَقُولُنَّ إِنَّا كُنَّا مَعَكُمْ, then we are definitely with you. Oh, now we see this is the right track. Everything is going so well for you guys. It's not how it works. أَوَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِأَعْلَمَ بِمَا فِي صُدُورِ الْعَالَمِينَ, is Allah not aware of what is in the hearts of the people of the worlds? وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, Allah will see who really believe, who has really believed. وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ, and He will see who are the hypocrites. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, the disbelievers say to those who believed, اتَّبِعُوا سَبِيلَنَا وَلْنَحْمِلْ خَطَايَاكُمْ. So they don't just come at it with the rocks and the fire and the taunts and the curses and all of the painful stuff. They come at it with emotional blackmail as well. Don't you worry, we got your back. Allah's going to punish. Nah, we don't think so. Even if He doesn't take it for you.